Barking up the right tree, effects of specific canine interactions on anxiety across the lifespan. All images were created by myself unless stated otherwise. Before we dive right in, let me introduce myself. My name's Gemma Kershaw and I'm a trainee counsellor at Bangor University. My placements specialise in bereavement, trauma and community-based care. So why this study? I've grown up around dogs, and let me tell you, they're more than just pets. They're like little emotional superheroes. Ever noticed how they just know when you're not feeling well and you need a little love and support? It's like they have this built-in radar for picking up on what makes you feel better. You know these times when you've had a rough day and all you want to do is hide away from the world? And dogs just have this amazing way of breaking through that barrier, right? For those of you who grew up with dogs, think back to those times when you may have locked yourself in your room, feeling low, and suddenly your furry friend bursts in, wagging their tail and nudging you with love. That's the stuff, right? Well, join me in this journey to dive in and uncover how our fluffy friends support our mental health. To give you a bit of background information, we started our research into mental health. Mental health disorders are growing, with a prevalence rate of 12,537 per 100,000 people. Anxiety lies at the core of this crisis, with 3,895 per 100,000 people. To provide perspective, bipolar disorder has a prevalence rate of 511 per 100,000 people. This means that the prevalence rate of anxiety is over 7 times that of bipolar. The research indicates that counselling is one of the most common and successful ways people receive help for their anxiety. There are many types of counselling that help with anxiety, one of which is canine-assisted therapy. So what is canine-assisted therapy, also known as CAT? Yes, CAT, cat, ironic, I know. Well, it's an approach utilising specially trained dogs within therapeutic settings, alongside a counsellor who is a certified handler, aiming to work towards therapeutic objectives. In this case, anxiety. Well, it's believed that dogs, their empathy and sociable nature is what aids them in supporting and encouraging clients to talk. Previously, research has indicated that CAT benefits clients differently depending on their age. For instance, with younger individuals, therapy dogs help build self-esteem and therapeutic rapport, whilst in older individuals, the dog helps to create a sense of companionship and comfort. So how does CAT help lower anxiety? Pause the video now to have a think. Well, as some of you may have guessed, interacting with a dog can provide tactile comfort, feelings of safety, reduce tension, as well as lowering blood pressure. Whilst therapy dogs can be incredible at reducing anxiety, there are, however, some limitations. There aren't that many trained therapy dogs out there. Due to this, there's limited availability and it can be costly. In this study, we're going to be looking at canine interactions. I'm going to quickly explain the difference between CAT and canine interactions. Hopefully you'll then get a better idea of why we're looking into these interactions. While CAT and canine interactions can both be therapeutic, CAT is the only one that is classified as a form of therapy. As a result, only trained therapy dogs can be used. With canine interactions, however, any dog can be used, such as your pet. We're specifically looking at walking your dog, playing with them, or petting them. So as you can see, this would mean that you wouldn't have to wait at the very bottom of a very long wait list or have to pay to receive the benefits of being with a dog. Whilst looking through previous research, it also suggests that individuals often have a stronger bond with their own pet in comparison to therapy animals. This stronger bond can result from years of companionship, shared experiences, and the development of a deep emotional connection. Because of this strong bond, interacting with one's own pet may evoke feelings of comfort, security, trust, which are all essential for reducing anxiety. It's also indicated that regular interactions with pets can reduce the likelihood of receiving negative mental health symptoms from recurring. When individuals have their own pet, they have the opportunity for consistent and frequent interactions on a daily basis. The opportunity for these regular interactions enables the ongoing support that allows for individuals to more frequently experience the benefits of interacting with a dog. Let's now talk about what previous research has said about the 3 canine interactions of walking, petting, and playing. So let's talk about walking first. Imagine taking a stroll with your furry friend. Now, it's not just about getting the steps in, it's more about a mental reset. Walking can reduce anxiety by promoting exercise and fostering social connections. When you see a happy dog, it's contagious, making you feel happier too. However, when you have an aggressive or reactive dog or you meet one out on the trail, it can increase your anxiety. Now, let's discuss petting. Picture in your mind the sensation of gently stroking your dog's fur. In these moments, the interaction lowers your blood pressure and increases oxytocin. This physical connection reduces anxiety and creates a calming effect. However, the unpredictability of some dogs' behavior during these petting sessions, some may be prone to biting, can introduce a sense of unease, increasing levels of anxiety. And finally, let's talk about playing. Playing with your dog is more than just tossing a ball around, it's about bonding and having fun. This interaction can reduce anxiety by providing physical exercise and strengthening the bond between you and your furry friend. The joy of watching your dog's tail wag can melt your worries away. However, if your dog misbehaves during the interaction, such as some may lunge for the ball when you go to pick it up, the interaction can become nerve-wracking and increase anxiety levels. Reviewing all of this, as you can see, the 3 canine interactions all appear to have several factors that reduce anxiety, but it's good to keep in mind that your dog's temperament and those you may interact with during the activity can impact the session. As a result, for you to benefit from the interactions, it's indicated that you need to pick the correct interaction for you and your dog. Previous research has investigated how individual canine interactions affect anxiety. However, the gap in the literature was that there are no studies comparing the canine interactions, or how these interactions impact different age groups. We had 2 hypotheses, the first being that anxiety will decrease following all 3 canine interactions, regardless of the interaction. The second was that there would be a significant relationship between anxiety reduction and age following all 3 canine interactions. It's important to note that ethical approval was granted for this study to be conducted. The target population for this study were individuals that were in regular contact with dogs, such as dog owners. Participants had to be over the age of 18 and not afraid or severely allergic to dogs. We utilised opportunity sampling to recruit participants, placing advertisement posters in pet shops and counselling organisations, as well as posting on social media such as Facebook and Reddit. Our study was comprised of 2 stages, the first being questionnaire 1 and the second being questionnaire 2 and 3. I'll come back to this later on in the presentation. Within questionnaire 1, there were initially 1,100 participant datasets. From this, we excluded participants if they did not complete the entirety of the questionnaire or responded to questions by selecting Prefer Not to Say. This will also be discussed later on in the presentation. After this, we had a final total of 492 participant datasets, of which 475 were female, 14 were male, and 3 self-identified. Within questionnaire 2, there were initially 59 participants. Questionnaire 3 had 53. From this, we excluded participant data in the same way as questionnaire 1, but we also made exclusions if the participant did not provide questionnaire 3 the unique code that they were given at the end of questionnaire 2. After this, there was a total of 39 participants, of which 33 were female and 6 were male. Within the second stage, we specifically looked at participants' age in relation to hypothesis 2. From analysing the data, there was an age range of 18 to 83, with a mean of 42. During data analysis, these participants were placed into 3 age groups: young adults aged 18 to 35, adults 36 to 55, and older adults 56 and over. This study used a 2x3x3 mixed qualitative design. Within this design, we had 3 independent variables. The first was time. This was within subjects, before versus after canine interaction. The second was activity. This was between subjects, walking versus playing versus petting. The third and final was age. This was young adults versus older adults. We also had 2 dependent variables in the design. The first was emotional impact of the canine interactions. This was measured using the Comfort for Companion Animals scale, also known as CAS. The second was anxiety. This was measured using the Current Anxiety Level Measures, also known as CALM. As was previously discussed in the research design, stage 1 of the study involved questionnaire 1. This questionnaire includes the CAS and emotional impact questions. Have a look at the table on the right-hand side of the screen. This is the CAS questionnaire. Feel free to pause now to take a closer look. Participants were requested to answer the CAS questions by selecting one of 5 statements. These statements included strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree, strongly disagree, and prefer not to say.
In regards to the emotional impact questions, participants were requested to state how the 3 interactions individually made them feel. They had the options to select happy, sad, anxious, content, relaxed, calm, excited, and angry. At the end of the questionnaire, the participants were provided with an opportunity to state if they would like to participate in the second stage of the study. To indicate that they wanted to participate, they were requested to input their email to the researchers at the end of the questionnaire. Then the researchers would provide a link to questionnaire 2 and questionnaire 3.
The second stage of the study involved questionnaire 2, which was conducted before participants interacted with canines, and 3, which was conducted after. First, let's talk about questionnaire 2. Participants were asked to first select a canine interaction they were going to perform for a minimum of 10 minutes. They were then asked the calm questions. Have a look at the table on the right-hand side of the screen. This is the calm questionnaire. Feel free to pause now to take a closer look. Participants were requested to answer the calm questions by selecting one of 6 statements. These included not at all, a little bit, moderately, quite a lot, extremely, and prefer not to say. 5 of the statements were given a number ranging 0 to 4, 0 being not at all and 4 extremely. The response prefer not to say did not have a number, as this response led to participant data being excluded. Upon completion of questionnaire 2, participants were provided with a unique code and told to remember it. They were then requested to immediately perform their selected canine interaction, and then straight away complete questionnaire 3. Within the third questionnaire, participants were first requested to provide their unique code. They were then asked to complete the calm questionnaire again. During the data analysis of the calm questionnaire, a participant's response number from the before data was separately summed from the after data. Then the total after score was taken away from the total before, providing the total calm score, which was the difference. A decrease in the score indicated a decrease in levels of anxiety. Whilst looking at the data for questionnaire 1 and analysing the CAS responses, some of the data stood out. For instance, to the question, "My life is improved by my dog," approximately 97% agreed with this statement. "My dog causes me distress," approximately 7% agreed. "My dog provides me with a pleasurable activity," approximately 96% agreed. "I get comfort from touching my dog," approximately 96% agreed. "I get more exercise because of my dog," approximately 90% agreed. "And my dog makes me laugh and play," approximately 97% agreed. For more information on the CAS data and a breakdown of the results, please refer to the handout. When reviewing the emotional responses to canine interactions, the data in the graph in front of you, it is clear that regardless of the interaction, the overwhelming majority of participants had a positive emotional response to their canine interaction. Within all 3 categories, the majority of the positive responses were that individuals felt happy. Of the 492 participant responses, 230 found walking, 381 found playing, and 233 found petting made them happy. There were very few non-positive interactions. Out of the total participant responses, walking received 58 non-positive ones, playing had 4, and petting had 1. Within all 3 categories, the majority of the non-positive responses were that individuals felt anxious. These scales do not measure anxiety, however the results may be consistent with hypothesis 1. When analysing the data from questionnaire 2 and 3, we conducted a mixed measures ANOVA, with a within subjects factor of time, which was before versus after interaction, and a between subjects factors of activity, which was walking, petting, and playing, as well as age, which was 18 to 35, 36 to 55, and 56 and above years old. The table on the right shows the breakdown of the mean score by activity and age group, pre- and post-intervention. Analysing the total calm scores, participants in the before condition had a higher overall mean anxiety score of 25.95 than those same participants in the after condition of 18.23. The results of the analysis revealed that there was a significant effect of time. In addition, anxiety reduced after performing the activity with the dog, irrespective of what activity this was. However, the interaction between time and activity was not significant. Furthermore, there was a reduction in anxiety dependent of age of the participant. This interaction between time and age was significant. Post-hoc t-tests revealed that this significant interaction was driven by the 18 to 25-year-old group. where anxiety decreases were significantly higher after interacting with a dog as compared to those in the 36 to 55 and 56 and above groups. Whilst anxiety scores lowered after interacting with a dog for the other two groups, the difference was not significant. There was no significant interaction between time, age, and activity.
As was seen in the results section, the first hypothesis was supported. So what does this suggest? Well, by being around dogs, one's mental health can be improved, irrespective of the interaction. This result corresponds with previous research discussed in the introduction, as all three interactions, walking, petting, and playing, improve anxiety levels. Our findings refute a notion that specific canine interactions lower anxiety, as merely being with the dog under any circumstance lowers it. So what is the theory behind these results? Well, perhaps there's something we're not measuring for within the framework of this study, as it has been shown in the literature that interacting with dogs has a physical and psychological benefit. However, it's still unsure why. Previous research has theorized that this may be due to a dog's nature. As I previously stated, dogs are known for their sociable and empathetic nature. They can provide individuals with comfort and love. Dogs can also be a source of attachment bond through companionship. Our furry friends are very loyal and are known for having our backs. We humans are known to need companionship. We tend to strive to form connections with those we believe we can trust and are loyal. Analysing this literature, this may be the reason why. In this study, we didn't control for the length or strength of the canine-human relationship. Further research could look into adding this as a control variable to see if this bond has an effect on levels of anxiety. The second hypothesis was also supported by our results. So what does this suggest? Well, just by being around dogs, mental health can be improved. This improvement occurs throughout all age groups, but is highest in younger individuals aged 18 to 35. So what is the theory behind these results? Well, individuals are statistically more likely to be anxious when they are younger rather than older, though this was reflected in the before interaction calm scores. The literature suggests that this may be due to social media pressures, which are more statistically likely to impact younger generations. Unattainable lives are plastered all over the internet, broadcasting unrealistic and harmful expectations of how individuals should look and act. The literature also indicates that younger individuals may be more anxious due to the cost of living increasing, causing multiple financial stresses. It's at an all-time high where individuals are finding it harder to move out from their parents' homes and buy or rent their own. Whilst with older generations, research indicates they're experiencing less anxiety, as in general, people are living longer, are healthier, and are more financially stable. This is believed to be due to our life expectancies increasing from continuous medical advancements as well as improving nutrition and general hygiene. Analyzing this previous research, our results may be due to younger adults having higher levels of anxiety as a baseline in comparison to older ones. Therefore, their subjective feelings of anxiety reduction may have been more profound than that of the older ones, and so this may be why anxiety reduction is more significant in younger adults.
This study had the potential for human error with a double dropout rate. Firstly, participants could only access the second stage of the study by receiving the links from the researchers. However, when they input the emails, this was added to a list on SciToolkit, which researchers had to manually check and then email the links. This delay between stage 1 and receiving stage 2 may have contributed to the dropout rates. Individuals could have lost interest during the wait time. In future research, a system could be set up to automatically send the links upon receiving the emails. Secondly, participant data was excluded when participants did not input their unique code from questionnaire 2 into 3. Unique codes maintain confidentiality, however remembering them can be challenging, so contributing to the reduction in population size. In the future, a system could be set up where participants are automatically emailed their unique code, an email that the researchers are not privy to protect confidentiality, reducing the chances of being forgotten. So, what can you take away from this presentation and add to your ever-growing set of therapeutic skills? Well, you may now be encouraged to utilize canine interactions in your client self-care strategies, specifically encouraging your younger clients with dogs to spend more time with these pets as a strategy to help combat their anxiety outside of the therapy room. As I come to the end of this presentation, I'm going to leave you by saying one last thing. Find peace in the paws of our furry friends, soothing anxiety one wag at a time. Thank you for coming with me through this journey looking into barking up the right tree, effects of specific canine interactions on anxiety across the lifespan. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a message below. On the next page, you will find the reference list for this presentation, and if you'd like to perform some further reading, please refer to my handout.